Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 22. Today we're playing a little bit of this Viktor Vi with the atrocities and the elusive stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, it's kind of an interesting deck. I know I ran into a few games across the few days since the new patch came out to where I know I specifically lost a game to Viktor, to where it was like, oh, the dude hit elusive and scout. That's kind of annoying. Or he hit like scout and overwhelm or something. Some kind of like ridiculous concoction of keywords we couldn't deal with elusive. And it's like that was just kind of sticking in the back of my mind a little bit. Then through the further laddering, I played against someone that boomed us with a Vi and an ambush, and I was like, oh, well, that's fun and interactive right there. Let's go and take a look at what they're working with. And this is a very similar deck list to what they were running. I don't know who came up with this concept initially. I just went in and grabbed a few deck lists off of Mobalytics. I'm sure someone on Twitter deserves the high five for for assembling this monstrosity. But I've had a reasonable amount of success with it. Now, looking at a deck like this, again, like the big thing we're looking to pull off, we want to get Vi up to 10 attack. We're going to give her elusive, whether or not that's with Snipe Scavenger or with Ambush, and then we're going to dome our opponent for 10, and then after we've hit our opponent for 10, we can throw an Atrocity Vi at the face for another 10. And so that's not, how all of the games play out. A lot of the times we hit them, for like 10 or 12 with Vi and then burn them out the rest of the way with ballistic bots. Sometimes we just end up winning with the likes of Niandroid and Snipe Scavenger. Something weird happens when, we don't draw champions. But the core game plan we're looking to do is just have Viktor sit around for a few turns and then boom our opponents with a weird scout attack or get this elusive attack in with Vi. And it's, a weird deck in terms of when is something like this actually good, right? If you're out here playing against like a bunch of scouts, it's going to feel pretty bad. If you're playing against opponents that are playing, mini morphs and wallops, it's going to feel pretty bad. Vengeances are not ideal, but where we kind of stand in the format right now, a lot of that doesn't exist, right? The most common deck you're going to run across in the current format is Sundisk. Sundisk just cannot interact with anything you're doing outside of playing Quicksand. And so Quicksand is oftentimes not even enough to stop this Vi thing. Like I've attacked multiple times with Vi. She's too big for the opponent to actually kill. They have the Quicksand and you're just like, cool, Atrocity. And so that deck is, pretty non-interactive. And with the recent nerfs that we've seen out of the 3-4 patch, the only other go tall deck of note was the Pantheon deck. And so with Pantheon getting a nerf, he's been seeing a little bit less play. I don't think that nerf is super relevant. I think Pantheon's going to come back into the forefront once people are kind of finished trying out the new cards. And then Gnar, I don't think I've seen a Gnar since the patch changed. And that is where we're going to find the source of things like Wallop, various decks playing Minimorph, things like Darkness I haven't seen a ton of since the early unit caught the nerf. And so this is kind of a good time for a deck like this to strike if we're not running into all of those single targeted removal type spells. And so this is what we're going to be battling with today. The way I typically look at most of these games and the way I want most of these games to start out is Vi is the most important card to have in your starting hand. You typically don't want to be starting with 5-cost cards in your hand, but if you draw Vi on like turn 5 or turn 6, she's just going to have 2 attack. And so unless you've really like assembled a big bursty hand to where you can Poro Cannon and play a Ballistic Bot and get like 4 or 5 generated cards the turn that you immediately play Vi, she's going to be too small. And so I do actively look for Vi in our openers, and then I just look for our cheap cards, our Zonite Urchins, our Ballistic Bots, Boom Baboon, Ferris Financier, Mystic Shot. Those are our early game kind of interact a little bit, board stall kind of stuff. If we can attack our opponent down to like 15, awesome. But we are looking to heavily take advantage of the non-interactivity and generating this big Vi, using the Scavenger, using the Ambush to give her elusive, and then finishing with Atrocity. And so plays more like a combo deck, if you will. Not a full OTK, but pretty close. And so, as we jump into the battles here, you all know what we have to do. We have to turn something premium, and we are running out of stuff. And so, I scrolled through here earlier. Literally everything is premium except our Give It All, our Viktor, and our Vi. And I feel kind of bad for Vi. I didn't have the opportunity to get together a Vi run and expedition before it was all said and done. And so she's what we're going to be turning premium today. Get that nice premium treatment, get your arcane videos ready to go. We got the Vi all premium and ready for battle. And so, let's jump on in. Where's that? Elusive Atrocity, cleverly named. Let's go. So let's see. I'm sure the Sun Disc will be the first opponent we face, and we'll see if we can't pull this stuff off. It's an odd format. I suspect the Sun Disc is going to decline in popularity. But there's no denying the kind of casual appeal of jamming the Sun Disc. Okay, so up against the old Rumble Draven. Got a little bit of Viktor in there, and so we have enough early game stuff here. I do want to hang on to Mystic Shot since we're up against Draven, but I think I want to get rid of the Station Archivist just to look for a Vi. This is a hand I think it's a little bit too good early to get into heavy mulliganing, but we can get rid of one card and afford to have it go wrong. Okay, and then one of the interesting things with the Pharaoh's Financier is he does manifest from our own regions. This unit is super likely to come down and hit Atrocities, and so we do naturally have 2 Atrocities in our deck, but we have another fantastic way to generate them in the Financier. He's very good at it. Okay, this deck though, it's probably got a little bit more interactivity than we were expecting to have to come into here. It looks like he's been tooling around with Viktors, but this Draven isn't in his immediate list of decks. That's A-okay. Dude, he's bringing out the pool party skins. I was looking to perhaps skin up the Vi as opposed to just turning her premium, but it was the Gilded Age Vi it's okay, but it's kind of expensive, and I didn't really want to pay $12 or whatever it is for that skin, and so we just went for the premium. But I know in the previous video I was looking to perhaps put the Infernal skin onto Shin. And man, it's just so depressing. It just looks sad to me. I want the board to be all bright and happy and stuff. And that's what we see out of the pool party board the opponent's using. But not something we get out of those Infernals and the other ones. The Gilded Age was okay. That was kind of I couldn't quite get hype about it, but. Okay, so what do we got to do here? I'm okay with getting this Viktor a little involved. I don't think the Rumble deck plays too much removal. They might be playing Mystic Shots, but we don't really want to wait a turn to get involved with this Viktor. But there's also the chance he just doesn't attack with Viktor, and I think this is fine at the end of the day. I don't want to have to be playing Death Ray. If we can get our opponent to invest a few cards into Viktor, then I think that'll be good. Could have played the Ignition, but then that stops us from playing these other cards. Also lets him just ignite and potentially get his Viktor out and attacking. Alright, well, I'll drop ours. We're still going to have, the mana next turn to do Get Excited plus Mystic Shot onto Viktor. And so we can take him down, no problem. I would like to do it with this Hex Core on the stack. It is a little problematic if his Viktor hits Elusive here, or hits Spell Shield here. So I'm just going to go ahead and take him down. Not going to use our Viktor, though. If our Viktor dies, I want to have the second one in the wings. Okay, and this has been one of the annoying things with the Hex Core. If you notice, we'll call it out again as the game continues on, but when the Hex Core is on the stack or the active card on the stack, it puts this blue, hey, your unit's gonna die thing over top of all the units. It's kind of odd. See here, you can see it now, right? All of our units have the blue shattery thing on it. Right, well, we're building up a nice board here. Nothing like too scary, I think, especially seeing opponent play the Poro thing. Like, if he drops a, if he drops like a Rumble, it's not that bad. He tapped out too low to do it anyways. We have a great block with the Boom Baboon onto the Risen Rider. There's like nothing too scary happening here. This is a little unfortunate. I was hesitant to play the Ignition, but I thought that there was like a reasonable chance that opponent just passed. Now that we're seeing the Urchin and the Boom Baboon, I would kind of like to be able to play the Death Ray, but I think it's still okay. Now, like, how risky can we get with Viktor is the new question, right? This Boom Baboon block is always going to happen. I'm okay with getting rid of Ballistic Bot. We don't need the cards that much. And so now the question is, like, do we want to take 5 or do we want to risk this Viktor? And I think it's just, like, a little too risky with him. He's getting pretty close. Like, if he hits Quick Attack or if he hits Elusive, he's going to be able to do a lot of work here. So we'll hold him in the back. See if opponent's going to drop like a Whirling Death or something. He has this 3 mana stored up, which is kind of scary. Okay, an opponent had Get Excited there. I had to pause the video for a hot second. Let's see. Something cool, I'm feeling it. Impact. Not quite what we were looking for. It's okay though. All right, what you got for us, Archivist? The ambush can chunk in for a ton of damage. We can hit for 10? That feels like a good amount of damage, especially when we have like the Poro cannon in hand to potentially just throw some blockers on the board. Daring Poro, that's awkward as fuck. Awkward as fuck. So let's see. Let's still try and take this thing down. Should force him into playing another one. The downside to this now is if he drops a... Well, I guess this is okay, right? He can play his Daring Poro and then we can just Flame Chomp it. I don't feel as bad now. Alright, so we'll come in and drop this little 10-piece nugget right to the dome. 11-piece. We got the augment on Viktor. Bet you non-Americans out there don't even know what 10-piece nuggets are. Can you get a 20-piece or chicken nugget in Europe? That was one of the classic meals out here. You roll down to the McDonald's, you get yourselves a 20-piece or chicken nugget, and then you got to go with sweet and sour sauce. That's most definitely the play. I don't want you all out there misplaying your 20-piece or chicken nuggets. You got to go. Gotta go for the sweet and sour. All right, is this game over yet? We're getting close. If we have 7 mana, so if we can play the Station Archivist and hit a Mystic Shot, then we'll win the game. We only have 1 Mystic Shot left in our deck, which is a little awkward, but we're close in those terms. Uh-oh. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. We didn't have an ambush. Guy's bringing it. Are we dead? Are we the dead ones here? I thought we were going to be able to get a Poro Cannon on the board, but I was mistaken. Oh, I bet we're dead. Yeah, we died a Mystic Shot. Like, it's like, I kind of want to play around, get excited. Oh, he's got an Ignition in hand as well. We're going to die to the entirety of the Burn Suite. But if we hit the Mystic Shot like this, there is a chance that we can have him put his Mystic Shot on the stack, and then we shoot both of our Mystic Shots with this on top, or at the bottom. Decimate. Who plays this shit? Okay. Damn. All right. We're not the only ones out here going fun and interactive with the ambushes. Not what I was expecting to play against at all, but... Oh, that was the thing I forgot to mention in the earlier thing as well, is, you know, it's not just that the mini morphs and the go tall cards and the wallops are out of the format. A lot of the scouts decks and Demacia decks aren't playing the full suite of Sharpsight anymore. In our video yesterday, playing the Shen Jarvan, I took him out. It's fairly awkward these days. Might have to bring him back in, seeing how derpy this format gets with a bunch of us out here just rocking ambushes. But we'll see. We'll see if that's what comes about. Okay, so again, like I'm not amped about holding onto Viktor. We could potentially look for an OTK with Give It All, but I'd rather just full mulligan for Vi here. So let's get rid of all of this stuff. We're looking for Vi, Ballistic Bots, Pharaoh's Financiers, the cheaper end of the equation. Did not find any of it, but you have to have the elusive attackers to get through. Definitely need to be doing aggro stuff against the Sun Disk. Bomber Twins. That's new to me. Okay. Typically don't see any damage sources coming out of the Sun Disk. You don't see a lot of shape stones coming out of this thing. It's usually just their only interactivity is the Ancient Hourglass and Quicksand. And so I'm okay with putting a bit of damage onto the Nyandroid. Now the question is, how do we want to get the rest of our damage in? And I'm really looking to just drop 4 Poros this turn. It's going to drop a ton of damage in. Quicksand would make this kind of awkward, but we do have a burn spell if we need to go about that route. And so we get in 4 extra damage this way. It's like I don't really want to discard the Scavenger, but I think the Scavenger and the Archivist are the ones that are going to have to go. So yeah, non-zero chance that we're about to run into a Quicksand here, but we can protect the Nyandroid. Ooh, why would you play Frozen Thrall? That's scary. Like, I get the desire to level up a Azir. Oh, okay. Sure. But I think this is okay. We're a little behind now. Like, this is what I'm talking about in terms of Vi, and that if we draw Vi next turn, she's not in that exciting of a position, and so it's a little on the scary side. Now we just don't have anything to do. Okay. All right, so we're going to be banking up to 3. We need like a damage source here. We're going to be short on the Atrocity is where this is a problem. Well, we picked up our Vi now, but we don't have cards to add to our hand to get the ambush going. Can't tell if this was just like overly aggressive and that we should have just gone for the Snipe Scavenger on the previous turn. We would have been like at a much better space if that was the angle that we took. But the thing with this board is he does have to kill us next turn, right? And it should be tough for them to do. And so I am kind of envisioning we should be able to block everything this turn. We're going to have to get excited something so that we don't die to the Sand Soldier. Oh, no, we can just do this, right? Take 1 from Azir, and then we still have our Vi. Okay. All right, now how do we feel about this? If we want to just like start playing cards, if we can get Vi up to 7, I think we just have to pass this turn. I was going to say, if we can get Vi to 7 attack, she's pretty close to just ending the game. But I think we're going to just hold on to the Baboon, right? We're into a problem of having enough mana next turn. But I think we can Baboon. That'll give us a added card to hand. With the added card to hand, we can then ambush with Vi, and then try and kill the next turn with a Atrocity. Now, this is a problem if opponent has a Quicksand, but they have to specifically have Quicksand or we're going to win this game. So where are we at? We can scavenge. We can actually get in for some, like, side damage here. Vi is never going to be our weakest unit, right? These cards are so dumb. Oh my gosh. They gotta put, like, quick animation mode into this game. Every time takes like 10 minutes. Okay. Got our Vi. That's a little unfortunate. But let's get this this Flame Chompers on the board. I feel like we're about to run into a Quicksand without opponent adding any more cards, but we're not going to be able to deal 7. Okay. The Zerath will... Oh, we didn't have a landmark. I think we did it. Okay, so even if he has the Quicksand now, it's not enough. He needs 2 Quicksands to deal with the Boom Baboon. Did we do it? Nice. All right, all right. Yeah, I'm not sure about the angle we took there with the Poro cannons, but we were able to gather the victory at the end of the day. V stands for victory, or whatever the voice line is. All right, nice. So, man, these games feel good now. It's like I had like an ear thing for like the past week. It's been fucking annoying. Like I don't know. I get like the sinus stuff out here because I'm allergic to Kansas City, and then like it drains into your ear, and my ear got all clogged up. It's fucking weird and strange, but it's like so disorienting. Like whenever you would go out into public and you're, it's like I want to hang on to a taste of this, but not a ton. Against Trundle Gnar, that's concurrent timelines, right? So we have to worry about like Frostbites to a degree, but I don't think they usually play a ton of like Vengeance style cards. It does play Vengeance. Keep a little something for the early game. Okay. But no, it was like, it had been like a week and my ear was all clogged up and just like couldn't hear out of it or anything. It was fucking annoying. So I finally went to the doctor yesterday and got it dealt with. And like, it's mind blowing how much sound I can hear now. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it had just been like clogged up for a really long time and I just never noticed. But I certainly notice now. And it's like, everything just sounds fucking loud. It's so strange. But I'm hearing all good now. I apparently need to clean out my other ear and stuff. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling healthy. It doesn't like echo every time I talk. All right, but what are we going to do here? I don't want to trade with the Sentry. It's kind of tempting to just like discard the Flame Chomper to slam a bit of damage in. It's like not a high valued usage of the Flame Chompers, though. Let's just pass it up. I don't think they're going to have ways to deal with our elusives. Okay, this is fine. Right, like in the previous game to where we had, or against the Rumble guy where we had to Flame Chomp a Poro. I don't think that's something we have to too frequently run into here. Just going to start burning them. What up, Nar? We we forgot all about you. I didn't realize you were still a thing. All right, what'd you hit, Viktor? Fated? Interesting. Get a +1/+1 bonus when we play this ambush next turn. It's fine. Nar gets his flip. We'll get like one attack in with the Viktor before Mega Nar comes at him. See where this goes. We might want to go big with our Poro cannons this turn. Oh, friend. Hitting the scout. I like it. I like it. We're just realistically going to be double ambushing this turn, right? So we've got the 4 mana for those. Or, yeah, that's what we're going to do, but let's get one more Poro on the board. Viktor says, LOL, watch this. LOL. Look at this, guys. I got scout and stuff. That's lame. That's something a lame person would do. Okay. Doom Beast, who plays this stuff? So let's get some more elusive damage in. We don't have the Atrocity, but we can still put in some work here. Got them Viktor flips. You just survive a Nar hit now, don't you? God, you're so big. So big, Viktor. All right. Looking big and stuff. Pretty close to a kill if we can hit something off of the Financier. The Fancier, if you will. The Pharaoh's Fancier is what I like to refer to him as. Takes us to 8. This deck does play Atrocities, and so I want to be a little bit wary of that. We're definitely going to block this Doom Beast. Then we fall to 11, and I feel like we're pretty safe. So let's stop there. Maybe hit something cool like Spell Shield for our Viktor. Fury. Not quite the cool I was looking for. Lighted Ravine. Won't kill Viktor. Okay. Now, who do we want to play here in terms of... do we want to drop the Station Archivist or do we want to drop the Financier? We can't cast any of the spells off of the Financier, and so I'm leaning towards the Archivist, but it's like I do kind of want to know if we can generate a Atrocity, and then we can just use the Atrocity next turn if that's what it comes down to. And so I am going to go for the Financier here. Did not hit the Atrocity. It will pick up the Hex... The Transmogulator is kind of interesting in that we can attack with all of our Poros, and then we can take an unblocked... Our Poros are going to die to thing. Hang on. That's okay. Do we have the mana if we say take the Transmogulator, ambush? Yeah, I think so. This is 5, 8, 9, 10. If we 3-bank, we're going to have it. Okay. It's like, how much opportunity do we want to give him to play spells? I think we need to get a dude on board. So let's just go ahead and do stuff slow. Start with the Hex Core upgrade. Give him a chance to spend some mana and maybe invest in Viktor. And then if he hits Spell Shield, awesome. Did he hit it? Fated, Scout, Fury, Overwhelm. Didn't hit it. He does have Overwhelm, though, and this Overwhelm's enough to kill through Nar. So let's start with this Viktor attack now that we've played a couple cards. Game says -3. It's got to have something. Flash freeze. Okay. Kind of lame, dude, but sure. If we drop the Archivist, that costs 3. Now it's going to cost us 6 mana for the thing now since our Viktor died, so we need to drop the Ballistic Bot. See where that gets us. Hang on. We needed, well, it is tough to do that pre-combat. Hey, I don't like what we did here. We still get to take down the Viktor, but that didn't work out how I wanted, or take down the Gnar. Okay, well, let's hang on to the Archivist here. Ugh. Stop and make thinking noises. Okay. Oh man, is he gonna burn us out? Alright, so we die to a pokey stick this way. I think I'm okay with that. We gotta have something go right, and something go right's going to involve these elusives. Vi, not quite what we needed. Vi stands for vicious. Ruination. We'll give it up there. Tough. That's one of the matchups that we're not looking to face. I think we did mess up in there. I don't know if there was a better take out of that Ferris Financier as to where we're looking for. I was thinking of just taking the 6th cost thing that just changes every turn, but that seems kind of meh. I don't remember what the third option was, but I'm curious now if we shouldn't have just ignored the Viktor attack with Scout. I did like that gave us some options, but I'm curious now how it would have played out if we had just played a unit and then transmogulated and attacked with the 3 scary units that were all lethal. But the downside to making a big play like that is if opponent just plays the Ruination. I don't remember the amount of mana that they had there, but it's definitely problematic if that's what their angle is. All right, here, I think I'm good to hang on to Viktor against the Viktor deck. Mystic Shot, probably not going to have a ton of targets in here, so we can get rid of it. Look for other cheaper plays. Found some. Ready to start financing. Get in here. Get them fancy finances. So do we want to take the Vengeance here? It's between Vengeance and Progress Day. It is nice to have like Vengeance against Aphelios, but I mean we already have a Get Excited in hand. I think I'm just going to go with the Progress Day. I feel like we're going to be playing this game for a while. What we got here? Glorious Evolution is pretty tempting. Okay. Everything gets augment. Okay. Boomed him for that 2 damage. Technically, now that we have Viktors, we can pop this Ballistic Bot with the Viktor flip if we want. I'm not super interested in that, but it's an option that we have. You're gonna hit all the coolest of spells, aren't you, Victor? I can feel it. Feel it in my bones. What you got? Something cool? Faded? I've seen cooler. Definitely seen cooler. Do we want to go ahead and take down this ballistic bot? I mean, I think we probably do. It's going to be a little bit more on the annoying side of things. Hell yeah, we immediately redrew it. Just what we needed. Something cool? Scout? Alright. Scout's one of the cooler ones. It's just, I worry about our Victor falling to an aftershock is the only problem. It's not like the end of the world to have him fall, but I think we have a bit of time before we have to get too invested in that. Meteor shower. That's kind of lame. Kind of lame, dude. You heard it here first. Oh, this death ray doesn't flip back into Victor? This is just the actual card? I'm not used to these things. We don't play a lot of Victor at Expedition. It's kind of lame. Alright. I thought we were going to have a backup Victor in hand. Alright, but we can start doing cool stuff next turn. We're gonna get the Sump Snipe Scavenger down now. Then next turn we're just gonna Glorious Evolution and spew off a bunch of stuff. Our Poros will all be out here growing. It's gonna be pretty cool, I assure you. Gonna be cool. Could you do cool stuff like that, Aphelios? Nah, man. Nah, you can't. Aphelios is boring. This is the cool stuff. That's a premium Glorious Evolution if you weren't aware. Look at that. Look how premium that is. Draw a landmark. What is that? Veiled Temple? Sure. Fuck yeah, here they come. Everything has the augment. Feels nice. I don't think we want to attack with the Sump Snipe Scavenger either. It's going to, be a potential ambush target. So we'll keep it back, but we're going to play the other Poro, the Ignition, get in an augmented attack. Looks pretty strong. Okay. A little unfortunate. Get this Atrocity primed and ready though. 8 damage coming off of the Scavenger with the Atrocity. Need a little bit more spells, but we're looking pretty good. Poro Cannon Part 2. I don't think this deck plays any like AoEs. He has to hit him off of the invokes. So what are we going to do here? I'm looking, I think, to play the Station Archivist. It's kind of tempting to just discard Progress Day, but I can't imagine that's ever an intelligent line. And so we'll see what he adds to the board in terms of elusives and stuff, but I think we can start with the Archivist. Well, we should probably, probably just get the Poros on board, right? So let's discard Get Excited. And then I want to start adding more Poros, and then that'll let us use the Station Archivist card to boost our Poros as well. I don't think Aphelios is too scary. He can start popping some of our elusives here, but I mean, do we just want to kill him at this point? We can Atrocity the Sump-Snipe Scavenger to face. Let's let him spend a little bit more mana. We missed. There were no spells. Oh my goodness. We can't do anything for 3 mana. Wrecked. Fun and interactive, they say. As you're getting to start doing your Aphelios stuff, you just get nugged for 13. Oh, that was fun. Speaking of fun, watched a delightful movie yesterday. It's in the realm of Disney. If you all have childrens out there, you know, a lot of you do. Most of the followers around here in their 20s and 30s, not so much the teenager crowd. But watched Jungle Cruise featuring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It's pretty cute, you know, if you got the kiddos running around. It's got some scary moments in it with snakes and stuff, but at the end of the day, it was pretty cool. Always love us some Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Oh shit, he's dropping the aggro stuff. I think we just discard ambush here. But I enjoyed it. It was a happy little film. Also stars the thing that got me thinking with it is like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson uses a number of dad jokes all throughout the whole thing. They are fucking spot on and choice. It's just no two ways around it. The dude was on fire with his dad joke game. And then it also had Whitehall. I can't remember his first name. Canadian. You European folks might recognize him because he's English, I think. But you European folks, you recognize all the English folks, right? And so he had a show on Netflix called Travels with My Father with him, and his old man was like an agent in TV or music or something. And Jack Whitehall, that's who it was. He was delightful in it as well. So definitely enjoyed it. If you got the kiddos, it's worthwhile. It's like the problem with kids movies, or most of them are just shit. And you know, like they've gotten like better in recent years in terms of being like, oh man, an adult is going to have to sit through this, and so let's at least make it not as miserable for the parents. And this one certainly hit the mark in not being terrible. But anyways, back to the game, back to the action. This is tough. It's like I want to Mystic Shot something. It's probably just going to have to be the biggest unit. It's a little unfortunate that we can't take the Corsair down, but I think that's okay. We're going to put a unit out in front of a 1/1. We can technically Poro Cannon down a Flame Chompers if we want, but I think that's a little aggressive. I think we're going to be trying to win this game via ambush. So with that in mind, do we actually want to just play the Ignition and take the damage this turn? That's a little greedy, I think. But I am kind of like envisioning 2 attacks from now. We're able to... we're going to be able to try and get kills with these ballistic bots. But let's discard the Ignition before it goes away. See what we can do. Scavenger, interesting. It's both a unit and a bunch of damage. Okay. It's one of the scarier things to come down. So if we want to map the ballistic bot, we're going to lose out on 1 damage this turn, but it's going to be more damage in the future. But the thing with this is we're going to want to block with this Sump-Snipe Scavenger, and so like we can't block with the ballistic bot anymore. So we'll give the Ballistic Bot elusive, keep the Scavenger back to block should he need to, and see if we can't ambush kill next turn. It's going to be a little bit tougher without the Ballistic Bot. You want to hang out? Come on. And again, this is another space to where if we like really want to get a blocker on board, we can discard Flame Chompers to... Oh, no, we don't have a discard card anymore. I was still thinking we had the discard thing in hand. This looks okay.
This is my home.
So if you take 6, that feels like a little much. But where are we at in terms of damage next turn? We have 1, 3. Say we hit with the Urchin, that'd be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're not going to have any trouble getting a kill.
Can't get through this way.
Come on. Come hang out. God, these dumb cats, they just stare at you and meow. Not actually gonna jump up here. I don't know what she wants. There we go. There's the kitty. She wants to be on the internet. You say, "What up, people? I'm the dumb cat." This is not the smartest cat in the world. Okay, so we should be good for some lethal. We have 1 short on board. I think we want to play a card. It's tough for opponent to have like a lot of interactivity for this as we bring our board full of elusives. Let's see if he has his 3rd Make It Rain. Not today. All right, up to 3 and 2. GG, my dude. But no, it also got me thinking with the Jack Whitehall being out of being out of the movie. Is like I always like I can't figure out what the UK is. I Google searched it earlier, so I figured out what it was. But it's like I never know if you're supposed to refer to someone as being from England or for the UK. And like it just it got me thinking as to like how bad my geography was once I moved out here to Kansas City. Like for those of you that aren't in America, it's kind of in the middle. Like if people think of where Kansas City is, it's just in the fucking middle. But like there's a big collection of states out here in the middle of the U.S. and I have no fucking idea what any of them are. It's like I know the names and they make us like learn the capitals and stuff, but man, it took me like years of looking at the maps once I moved out here to fucking realize which one Nebraska was. It's wild how that shit works out. But here against Viktor Vi, I'm not sure what the Shurima is going to be in here for, but I think we can get rid of our Mystic shots. They're probably not going to be super interesting, and then we're just going to come and look for Vi. There she is. Beautiful. This guy's list on here. What's he playing Shurima for? You got the Howling Abyss. That can't be right. Oh, that was the wrong one. Okay. These other ones. Here's Viktor Vi, but with Noxus. Dude's trying real hard to make Viktor Vi work today. But okay, we'll take the give it all. We can find ourselves building up to a strong one. We have the opportunity for elusive out of the Scavenger. So I think it's going to be a little bit stronger than going for the 3/3s out of the Assembly Workers.
It's an awesome day for progress.
Okay, I'm going to hold it back. If he attacks, we'll trade. But if we're going to try and build up to a give it all, then I want to have the unit on board. Now, this is a little bit of an awkward turn. I feel like we don't want to play any cards. If we Mystic Shot, it's okay. But I don't want to play like a no-value Station Archivist. And then I feel like this turn's just going to amount to making a block with the Financier and playing a Mystic Shot, banking 2. That does give us the opportunity for better Archivists next turn, but probably just going to drop a Scavenger. kind of tough. I feel like we can get a Give It All Vi going and not need to put the map onto Vi. But maybe we should since we already have Atrocity. So we can look to say, play the Archivist next turn. Then we can play Vi 2 turns from now. Then have a Scavenger 3 turns from now. And then Atrocity kill 4 turns from now. I think that's all reasonable and well. He's going to hit for 4 damage this turn. We'll Mystic Shot the Boom Baboon. Get this cat just jamming her claws in me. It's very, very nice. Needing my chest piece over here. Alright, well. Can't do anything with this Give It All. Don't have any way to discard it. A little bit unfortunate, but I think we're still building up well. I think there's a pretty good chance he won't block our Archivist with Viktor either. It's a fairly dangerous block. Okay. Our first opportunity to get this premium Vi on the board. That's pretty cool. Such premium. Look at that. V stands for violence. I was in Arcane. Superstar. Everyone knows me. Watch Viktor just like immediately hit elusive. Now he's got Fury. Okay. He has like a bunch of mana. There is a world where he gets to like really damage this Vi, but I think we're okay. Just trying to think of where like our Damon has got Poro Cannon now. Slightly awkward. So how do we feel about this? Do we need to just switch to playing for value? Like it's gonna be a while before we can take down a Daring Poro or like attack through all of these Poros. And so it's like I feel like we can kind of get on board. It feels like his attack here doesn't feel good, right? He has one good hook with the Flame Chompers. Like he might, I guess what would be bad for us is the Flame Chomper hook onto Vi, and then he gets to hit us with Viktor. It's a pretty healthy amount of damage. I think we're going to have to block. Oh. Another fella bringing the ambushes. Okay. He's not playing Shadow Isles, so he's not going to be able to like hit us with Atrocities. Interesting. So I guess the new question is, are we just going to use Vi to hook his Viktor? Which is what I'm kind of leaning towards. We have an additional Vi in hand, but like we have to deal with him. Okay, he can't flip right. No, he's a little far. If he flipped mid-combat, that would be a disaster. So we're gonna have to get the Scavenger down. We can't go through this turn without having an elusive. What do we think? I think we'll put it on the Scavenger. I think his preferred hook with Vi is going to be our Ballistic Bot. He's probably just going to get a flipped hit on her here, but it's a little scary. Could play Give It All, but that feels kind of terrible. Oh, this guy's playing Shurima, though. It's so strange to me. Like he's been playing all these combos of Viktor Vi with the ambushes, but I don't know why Shurima's in here, unless you're just adding it for like quicksand or something. Like just as your mirror match tech, you add in the quicksands, which I mean could be realistic, I guess. But on this board, like he's gonna try and flip this Vi. I don't think we're gonna get a. We're gonna get like a. Well, I'm trying to say I don't think we should worry about her flipping. The strike isn't that big of a deal, so I don't think we need to save Atrocity mana. Ambush was a big pickup here, though. I don't think we can afford to fall to 3. We're going to have to ambush block something. Is this not giving elusive? We've added 2 cards to our hand this turn. It's just not highlighted because it's not our action. Okay. Oh, this is brutal. That's why I wanted to block. I didn't want to fall to 2 to where we just die to any 2 damage card, right? So if we just like let the attack happen and take the Poro damage, we die to ambush, we die to Mystic Shot. I liked having a little bit more health here. Sure. All right. Interesting. I'm still curious what that guy's Shurima cards were for. Then I'm not. That's tough. Like as far as like what our angle was, it's like I think we 100% win that game if he doesn't have a interactive element for our Vi. Like the Poro, like when we go Vi and he's like, "Here's a Poro cannon," you say, like, "Fuck!" Like that's so brutal for our board. Man, not sure how that one should have played out. It's like we're being like a little bit too aggressive in trying to assemble the big damage turn, and we should have just been playing for value. But here, I want to keep some of this, like, with Lulu Jinx, I assume it's going to be some kind of, like, aggressive-y number here. So it's like a discard aggro. Yeah. So I think we need our earlier plays. Like, the Ballistic Bots aren't good blockers. We'll hang on to the Archivist, see if we can't find our Mystic Shots and our Pharaoh's Financiers. Much better, much better. Ooh, we discarded Intrepid Mariner. What is going on these days? Everyone says, fine Sun Disc, I'm not attacking into you, I'm attacking around you. Everybody's playing the elusives today. It's so strange seeing those cards pop up. Sure. So I think we want to save our burn spells. This doesn't feel like a space where I want to really be dropping Mystic Shots. We're only taking 2 damage this turn. Although it does appear to be another person in the dregs of combo world. All right, well, we'll start to chunk it in. We do have a pretty burn-heavy hand here. Guy's got a Poro Cannon. Sure. He's got a Mystic Shot us too. Suit Up? Oh my god, what is this stuff? What the fuck is this stuff coming from? Yeah, this is like the collection of cards that just didn't make our expedition deck. Now, granted, Intrepid Mariner is not in expedition, and I'm wholeheartedly glad that he's not. But it's so wild. Okay, we'll take the Mystic Shot. We can discard the card to get excited to take down the Jinx.
Part of the plan, I just made up.
Okay. See if that takes her down. If we're gonna have to face more suit ups. Fine. We can't just like no block here though. It's way too much damage if Jinx gets to come through. I feel like the Archivist is our only real attack here. Like we can throw some Poros onto the board. Maybe that's something to consider. If we're gonna throw Poros, we need to get the Ballistic Bot down as well. Okay, I'm on board with this. I'm not sure how close opponent will be to dropping Super Mega Death Rockets. Like that would be problematic. But we can get our Poros going here. Finally get our first chip damage in, and we're just gonna have to give it all. It looks pretty strong here. Well, maybe 2 turns from now. Just get any unit. Viktor. Okay, that was kind of a perfect draw. Okay, so that's gonna flip Jinx, but he won't have a Death Rocket. Okay. Why did I see Lulu? Was that his discard? Yes. Okay. So it's like, what are the chances he kills us next turn if we don't block this Vi or block this Jinx? Feels like it's got to be pretty high. He's got 3 cards in hand. God, this sucks so much. I don't think falling to 6 is acceptable, but it's like, do we ever win the game if he kills our Viktor? We can get around this stuff. I think you can... Will we have 10 mana next turn so we can both ambush and give it all? He's out of Poros in hand. Takes us to 8. I don't like that. Let's do it like this. Let's Mystic Shot with the block in front. I think going to 8 is okay. But we can't risk the Urchin killing us. If he's going to be like, I drew another suit up, then, then I guess you did it, guy. But this feels like we have some options to recover. Oh my god. Oh, Twin Disciplines to Vi. Or to Jinx. Okay. That's a little scary. Yuri, not exactly the one we were looking for.
Now it's a party.
So a little scary dropping the Hex Core here. I don't think he's going to be able to spew out enough to start killing our dudes, but... Okay. Drop the give it all. We'll play the ambush first so everything grows up to 6 attack. If 3 of these units make it through, then we can win the game. What you think, my dude? Figuring out the options. Saying, oh no, bust. Oh no, bust, bringing it. Bringing the give it all. Maybe. One time. Did we get our rage quit for the day? Okay, all right. Well, I was gonna say I had to pause it there for a moment. He let the give it all happen and then conceded, and so GG. Getting there at least. We're at least at a break even today. Played some weird games going into our last one here, but not a bad day at Masters for the kind of deck I'm not particularly good at piloting. Maybe we'll get it up to that sweet 5-3 mark. Maybe we'll get some of these really boomtastic plays going. Really hoping we could just we got one Atrocity in. That was a good one. Always feels good. So much weird stuff today. Nami, Viktor. Okay. Do we need to pull up his deck list and see if it has ambush in it? I mean, it feels like a legitimate strategy these days. But what are we doing here? Let's hang on to Vi and get rid of everything else. Just look for some cheaper plays. Nami, Viktor. So what's he doing? Poro Cannon, stress testing, a bunch of discard stuff, ambush. What is the deal with ambushes today? I mean, I guess that's like exactly what we're doing, but it's been so crazy that's just like so many decks playing ambushes. Do we want the Poro Cannon? Well, if nothing else, we can discard the generated card to our other Poro Cannon. Okay. Gonna drop yours. Little no value archivist. Should be. Well, I forgot about the archivist in his hand. We probably should have just opened there. But he's lacking in mana now. Let's do our Hex Core upgrade and see what happens. I'm not opposed to like attacking and then potentially ambushing into Viktor. We hit tough. I think this will be a good attack unless he hits something like really strange on his Hex Core. Regenerate? Sure. We won't ambush. We'll play Mystic Shot. Interesting. Interesting, I tell you. Really surprised he went about it that way. Like, why wouldn't you just come out and block our Viktor? Feels like we're ahead though now. Do we have the lethal coming up? It's like that's what you got to stop and consider when you have like the Vi and the Poros in hand. It's like, ooh, are we about to do it? Guy's probably over there like, this idiot doesn't even know what the difference is between the UK and England. What a dum-dum. What did we hit there? Regenerate? Okay. It's like, is this guy... The curious thing now would be like if this guy starts dropping Daring Poros. If he doesn't have Daring Poros, then we can play Vi and open kill him next turn. Shouldn't be too many ways. There it is. There's the Poro Cannon. And say there shouldn't be like too many ways for him to interact with us positively if we're going to elusive both Viktor and Vi. But definitely something to watch out for here. Gotta open take down this Nami. Well, maybe you don't have to open with it. He does have like a lot of opportunity to boost his other units. Okay. Coming at us with a big elusive. So, I mean, do we even really care about Vi flipping? Maybe. We'll have to see what we draw. It's like we can open with... oh, this is brutal. I mean, maybe we should have just saved the ambush and played Daring Poros. This is like the format like today has been so different than the previous days in the collection of decks that we've run up against, and so it's been very, very strange. Let's do one. And then we'll look to hook down the Nami. It's like he can just burst off a bunch of spells usually anyways, or play a bunch of fast spells or something. And so I'd kind of like to I'd kind of like to not completely worry about taking her down fast. Let's do this. We need to get the Ballistic Bot down. The thing with Ballistic Bot is it will let us have a created card next turn for our ambushes. The question is, like, I think the big thing now is we have to hold on to Poro Cannon. Just to guarantee it. Like, if dude has a Get Excited or something to take down our... if he has a Get Excited to take down our Ballistic Bot, we're going to have a way to get Elusives next turn. Sure.
Justice firsthand. Freeze.
Okay. He's thinking about that one real hard.
Coming to save the day. Or wreck it. Sorry, everyone.
All right, premium Vi flips. I'm glad we got that out. You're welcome. So we're like guaranteed to have. I think we have to pass here. The idea was like, do we need to get another Poro card down? I think we're fine. Like, we can take a hit from Burblefish. Okay, so he shouldn't be able to block any of or boost any of this stuff on board. He can, of course, still have like burn spells to stop some of the stuff that we're doing, but we should be like fairly safe for the most part. So like I think we can block here with Viktor. Who's more important to keep between Vi and the Ballistic Bot? Because we do just have another Vi in hand, and it's going to be a 10 attack one. You can still probably safely put Vi in front of the Burblefish. Something like this. We take 4. He's probably going to have like... Oh. Well then. I did not think that game was over, but apparently opponent disagreed. And so, interesting. We'll get this deck pulled up and talk about it a little bit more. Because I have like a few thoughts on what we've run into today and also the deck itself. And so I get, like why people are taking this into Masters. This is what you run into when like decks are getting like very good at flooding the board, and you just have to go over top of it or you have to go around it. We used to run into this when in Expedition when I'm trying to think of the particular format. It was a bad one. I can't remember exactly what it was, but if your game plan is to just put like a bunch of stats on the board, you're in a pretty bad spot. The way that the Sun Disc decks are working, they don't actually care about winning combats. They just kind of care about not dying, and then if the Sun Disc flips, they're going to win the game. And so it's a pretty powerful strategy against like every control deck. But then also, if you just think of say like what Demacia is good at, right? If you think to that the deck we played in the previous video with Shen Jarvan, to where you're getting your advantages through virtual card advantage, where my unit's bigger than your unit. And so the classic example is your opponent has two twos on the board. We play a 3/3. They can't attack into us effectively because we'll just kill one of their units. We can effectively attack into them because their units will just die to our attack. And so that's kind of what that Shen Jarvan deck was good at accomplishing. But that is not something good against the Sundisk deck. And so you start to ask yourself, okay, well, how do I deal with this? You either go through it with overwhelms, you go around it with elusives, or you play rallies. With the idea being that you attack, you kill your opponent's board, you rally, and then you get to attack freely through their empty board. And so if you take that like kind of leveling into mind, it starts to make sense that if the most popular deck in the format is the Sundisk deck, we need to play a deck that can either go through it, a deck that can go around it, or a deck that can rally. You find these elusives being a real thing to do that with. And so I'm not sure if this was just like an odd collection of games or if like Mogwai posted a video playing a deck like this or something, but I thought it was very strange that today we ran into all of these Viktor-based ambush decks, but then on the flip side, not that surprising since that's also what we were just like considering playing in terms of bringing this to the table. And so I think it'll be interesting in seeing what the future brings in terms of decks like this, how the meta starts to shake up. Because what I wanted to kind of say as like the second moment is the things that we run into here in Masters take a bit of time to trickle down. At least when I was like heavily into playing Hearthstone, it would take about a week or two for the decks that I was seeing consistently and constantly in Masters, or I guess Legend and Hearthstone. It would take it a bit of time to trickle down. And it was usually like a week between the people in High Legend and Dumpster Legend, and then a week or two for the people that were typically in like rank 5 to Masters. It's not saying that like the people down at rank 5 never saw the current decks, but in general, that was the amount of time that it took. And so I'm kind of curious if that's what we're going to run into here in Runeterra. If you're in Platinum and you're grinding a lot and you're just seeing a bunch of Sundisk decks, or if the style of deck will cycle down much more quickly. But at any rate, we'll just have to see how that goes as far as time is concerned. I'll get more situated with Masters now that we aren't playing Expedition anymore. But in terms of this deck in itself, I think there's a few things that are kind of interesting with it. The Atrocity I like. Is that the best usage of our off faction? Maybe not. It certainly won us a game today we had no business winning, but I'm not sure if Atrocity is the best card. Like, as you look at a deck list like this, you can say, oh, cool, I can play fucking anything, right? Because we just, as long as it's not a champion, right? Because we can fit any other faction in here if we're just going to play 2 or 3 cards out of that faction. So it doesn't have to be Atrocity. I'm curious what that Shurima guy was playing earlier. Like, if we're kind of in, like, a level up mode here as to where the ambush decks are getting popular, and so they're starting to play quicksand, so you can quicksand off 2 of your opponent's elusives and then get all your elusives in for the attacks. Like, I'm not sure if it's that guy's angle or not, because he did have a lot of Noxus decks in his lineup as well. But something to keep in mind. The Atrocity isn't necessarily the best card here, but I think it is an actual pretty interesting thing in terms of Gauntlet. If we're going to be carrying this into the Gauntlet and specifically trying to pick on non-interactive lineups, it is just like the highest raw power thing that you could be doing is Vi plus Atrocity. And so it's something to keep in mind in those terms. But in terms of this list itself, I think I was pretty happy with everything. In my earlier testing and then throughout the games today, I haven't been super happy with Nyandroid. you'll run into a game or two to where you just never draw champions and it's not that awesome. And, you have to play something. But I feel like we can find something better than Nyandroid. Otherwise, I've been reasonably happy with all of the cards here. I think the one Get Excited is okay. You can choose to roll a dice with the Pharaoh's Fancier if you want to just try and generate it. And I think it is interesting that, playing Shadow Isles as our region so that you can financier into Atrocity. But that is certainly something to consider if you're going to pick a second faction in terms of things to hit with the financier, or do you want to just completely play PNZ only, and then greatly increase your chances of just give it all with the financier? And so it's kind of interesting. I'm curious if instead of playing Atrocity, if Targon is interesting for Spell Shield, or if playing Noxus for Overwhelm is interesting, right? So instead of playing Atrocity, we look to put, say, a Might onto Vi or a Might onto Viktor or something. Or I'm even kind of curious now. It seems like it would probably be a real pain in the dick with the mana, but we could think of something like that Demacia card that gives your unit Scout, right? You have to play it a bit awkwardly. You have to have the mana before you play your card. So you can't just say, like, play Vi on your opponent's turn and give her Scout on your turn. But it would be something to kind of consider, as we're just like, well, I'm just going to play 2 cards. How do I supercharge this Vi? Giving her Scout, giving her Overwhelm, giving her Spell Shield, just throwing her damage to face. These are all very real things to consider in terms of killing your opponent. And so I think I kind of like Atrocity for the moment. I'm not opposed to considering some of these other ideals, though. But after that, I was pretty happy with the cards in the deck. Again, I don't like Nyandroid, but outside of Nyandroid, I was pretty happy with everything else. So that's up to you. You'll have to let me know if you've been playing this any. This is like not the style of deck I'm good at. I consider this to be kind of like a combo deck, and I am historically not good at playing combo decks. But I thought it was an interesting deck to bring forth for everyone to see. And man, the way we've been seeing it, you're probably seeing it out there as well. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. You maybe thought it was a little atrocious what we did with the elusives. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.